All right, guys, functional line attunement. So remember, this is not a yoga practice. This is an opportunity to explore and to feel some sensation in your body to activate your functional fascial lines. Now, these fascial lines are quite unique. They're not full body lines. I kind of think of them as cross body lines. So right shoulder to left hip, left shoulder to right hip. They also exist on the sides of the body too, but I really appreciate those cross body connections. It gives me so much more power and strength in postures that are really asking for extra strength. So like a long held single leg standing balance, for instance, or side planks, or any strong twisting action. So again, if you're lifting heavy things or climbing something and that it really requires some exertion, that's when your functional lines kick in. So try this attunement, feel the function of these fascial lines, and then you'll be able to take it out in your life and really apply it when you need an extra boost of power and strength. Hey, if you learned something new in this video, put it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it.
Okay, so let's begin by just having a little sense of the very natural movement that these lines would participate in, and that would be these cross-body actions. So we're going to stand on our left foot and free our right foot up just to swing forward and back. And you're going to notice if you just let that leg swing, there's going to be this natural kind of rotation, cross-body action happening with the upper body. So when you take your leg back, let's pause with the leg back, you'll feel a connection from the glutes and the lateral thigh over here to the opposite shoulder. When you come forward, you're going to feel a connection from the inner thigh to the opposite chest and shoulder. It comes across the shoulder too, so feel those connections. And let's try that on the other side. So just get the leg swinging and then just let the body naturally start moving as it will. And then we'll hold the leg back, just hold it back and make that connection from the left hip to the right posterior shoulder and thorax. And then take it forward and just notice the connection across the body to that inner thigh. So those are the connections we'll be highlighting with our various postures. So let's begin with Tadasana, and we'll organize and activate. So again, these are not important in walking. They're not necessarily active in closed chain only or anything like that, like some of our other lines. So we'll ground into the great toe mound, inner and outer aspect of the heel, and then energize like you're dialing the feet and knees away from each other. You do get a little bit of activity through glute max when you organize and activate this way. So that's where it's showing up in the functional lines. All right, so press down into your feet, create some integrity through the center of the body by activating your deep front line through to the crown of the head. Let's take a nice deep breath, arms to the sides and overhead. Exhale, you can take your body forward and all the way down. Inhale, let's take a half lift. And exhale, hands to the mat. Step your feet back to downward facing dog. Great. In downward facing dog, we're pressing down into the palms and energizing like we're dialing the hands away from each other. Dialing into external rotation at the shoulders. Let's press down into the left foot. And then lift up through the right foot. Good. So this is not a heavily loaded posture, so we'll be able to just, from a mechanically advantageous position, just feel this. We're feeling the right glute, left posterior shoulder. Okay, so just make a nice strong connection there, lift up and press, and then step down and we'll feel into the other side. Press down into left foot, right foot goes up, or vice versa, sorry, right foot presses down, left foot goes up. Feeling the connection between the left hip, right shoulder. Just draw that connection in your mind. We're going to come back to this later, so that will show up again. Let's take the foot down. Good. Let's bring the knees down now. Great. Pad your knees if you need, you guys. If you need to fold your mat or anything, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, you're going to just organize hands under the shoulders, energize through the hands like you're dialing them away from each other. We'll stay on the left knee and extend the right knee back. Good. So as we've talked about before, we want to energize like we're dialing that lifted leg inward. So we want to create the right balance here. Want to make sure that we're feeling the deep front line is active. So once you're organized in that way, then you want to start making a strong connection between your right hip, left shoulder, across the body. In front of the body, you want to feel activity from the pubic bone through to the breastbone and reach straight through the crown of your head. So let's all activate the superficial front line of the body a little bit more. Good. The functional line kind of overlaps with the superficial front line at that rectus abdominis attachment. So that's what we're tapping into here to create that support under the body. Let's bring the foot down and you can take the other one up. That's not really necessary in downward facing dogs, so let's spin that leg inward, pull up. So let's try to connect the pubic bone to the breastbone. Draw the pubic bone right to your breastbone. Good job. Very nice. Let's keep reaching and connecting. This crossbody, again, we're just using gentler postures so that we can take that awareness with us into a stronger position. Okay, let's bring the knee down. Good. Tuck your toes, and you can press back now for downward facing dog. Good. Take your time, but when you're ready, you can walk, step, or hop your feet to the front of the mat. Inhaling to half lift. And exhale, folding forward. Inhale, let's press into the feet and come all the way up. Reach through your fingers. And exhale, hands can come to Namaskar Mudra. We'll set up our blocks at the front of the mat. And just play with the functional lines in a standing balance pose. So standing just a little ways away from your blocks. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, come forward and down. Inhale, let's bring your hands on the blocks and make sure that your feet are right under your hips and your hands are right under your shoulders. Stand on your left foot, send your right foot up. Now we have to be aware that we're now standing, so we need to dial the standing leg outward, energizing that short foot activation, so pulling your toes towards your heels or your heels towards your toes. Or you could think of it as monkey foot too. Dial the thigh outward, and now your lifted leg has to spin inward, activating the deep front line. Then we'll take the left hand forward. So, really, the arm and hand don't weigh all that much. But if we were to stay here for a little while, we would actually really be happy to have some strength from the functional lines. Connecting, giving the arm literally something to connect into here, and then connecting that to the opposite hip. So really feel for those cross-body connections, guys. Feeling right from the fingertips, we're actually activating the arm line here too, into the shoulder, opposite hip, and into the foot. Pressing into my hand here. Press into my hand. Atta girl. One more deep breath here. And exhale, take the hand down. Let's bend the knees slightly. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach through your front body. Exhale, all the way down. Beautiful. Inhale, come up to half lift. And bring hands onto the blocks. Standing on your right foot this time. Left foot can come up. Once again, energize down into your feet. Dial it out. Spinning the lifted leg inward and down, activating your deep front line. And then opposite shoulder. So right hand comes forward this time. And just breathe. So you need to concentrate on pressing the floor away from you. Harvest that energy up into your body. Remember, we're working with forces. Reaction force is giving us some upward lifting energy here. Harvest that through your body and make your connections. If you connect the body as a wholeness, you're going to feel more stable and you'll be able to sustain the pose. Let's take one more big breath here. And then exhale, hands can come back to the block, foot can step down, and we'll take a nice deep breath all the way up, reaching through your fingers. Exhale all the way down once again. And inhale up to half lift, and we'll bring the hands to the block. So we'll go into our opposite side once again. So left foot is on the ground, right foot comes up, spinning the right hip and leg in and down, taking your left hand forward. Option this time is to bend the knee, reach back with the hand to the foot, and possibly press the foot into the hand. Keep pushing the floor away from you with your standing leg. Now this time connect your pubic bone towards your breastbone. Keep connecting. One more breath. And relax the foot to come down. Hand comes down. Let's stand all the way up. Reach through your fingers. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, let's bring the hands to the block. And stand on your right foot, left foot comes up. Let's bring the right hand forward. Once again, make sure your standing leg is ready for this. Spin your upper leg in and down, and then bend the knee, reach back, catch hold of instep or ankle, press the foot into the hand. So you see we've gone from the previous pose, which was very back body oriented, back body's doing all the work, to this bind where the front body's doing all the work. So when the front body is doing the work, we're connecting the pubic bone toward the breastbone. Maintain this integrity here. Let's release and bring the foot down. Very nice. Come all the way up one more time. Reach through your fingers. Exhale, come all the way down. And inhale, you can peel yourself all the way back up again. Beautiful. So the functional lines and just that awareness of those cross-body connections are very helpful in standing balancing poses. So we'll have a look at that now. So let's all stand on our left foot and lift the right foot up. Let's just, for this example, take the fingers around the knee and start to push the knee into your fingers and pull back with your hands. So that's going to help you activate your back body. Of course, you can feel also the front body is active. So you could probably stay there for a bit, yeah? So this is a good time to just, maybe if you're working with some students, you could give them some extra sensory information because we want to connect this shoulder to this hip. Okay, and now feel free to take a break if you need, but Volusia's going to take this hand around the outer knee. Put it around that knee. And now she's going to spin this arm back. So we looked at this for spiral line, but this is also functional line is helping, especially when you stay here for a while. So let's take this arm back and look back. So this shoulder connecting to this hip here. This is giving her a little extra something. Okay, let's look back to the front and come back, and you can step your foot down. Good, like shake that out if you need to. And then let's go on to the other side, and we'll just talk about a few more other aspects here. So let's stand on the right foot this time, left knee comes up, and we'll press the knee into the hand, and then draw the shoulders back. So really activating the body. Now this time make sure you're activating front body too. Once again, feeling the pubic bone to breastbone connection. That is both the functional line and the superficial front line. Okay, pressing here. Other thing we could do is take the hands to the back of the head, pressing back. Now you, again, need to connect your right shoulder to your left hip, left shoulder to right hip. Press the head into the hands to help make that even more obvious. If you like, you could stretch the foot forward and just keep feeling that connection. So oftentimes we're relying on just the alignment to keep us in a standing balance, and that's not really going to keep us very steady. So we need to activate. Let's step down, and you can release the hands. Let's inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale all the way forward and down. Come up to half lift. And exhale, just move your blocks to the side. Your hands can come to the mat, and you can step back to downward facing dog again. Okay, so let's really see what happens when we make a very strong connection between the hands, shoulders, core of the body, feet, legs, hips, into the core of the body. Okay, let's make sure our downward facing dog is maybe just a hair shorter than we would ordinarily have it. And now you're going to start with your feet right together. Good. Press into hands, energize like you're dialing them away from each other. Press your hips back, press into your feet. Good. Now stand on your left foot, take your right foot up. Immediately start to make a connection between your left foot and your right hand. So press into your left foot more so that you can draw that connection into the core of the body, and then press into your right hand more so you can connect through the shoulder, through the pecs, through the lats, into the core and the trunk of the body. Great, and then you can lift your left hand up. So it's almost impossible to do this without establishing that connection first. And even then, it's pretty tricky. So you really have to activate very strongly to make this happen. Let's take the hand down and foot down and just give ourselves a breather. And we'll try that on the other side. So these are our postures that can ultimately strengthen muscle, connective tissue for those, connective tissue changes that create more resilient connective tissue. We call that building tissue tolerance. Let's begin on the next side. So you're going to press right foot down, left foot goes up. Just take your time, no rush. Press down into the right foot. Make that foot to core connection. Press into your left hand. Your left hand. And make that hand to core connection. And then when you're ready, you can lift the right hand. Make the connection first, no rush, and then lift. So this is really about, can I feel that connection? Can I establish that? Can I maintain it while I challenge it? And this is, again, how we make progress in the practice. We give ourselves a mechanically advantageous position, and then we begin to challenge it in some way, either by fatiguing the body or challenging the balance or something. Okay, let's bring the hand back down. You guys are champs. Bring your foot down. We don't usually talk about champs in yoga, but these guys are champs today. Let's inhale and move into upper push-up position. Lovely. So for upper push-up position, let's press into the toes, press into the palms, energize like you're dialing the hands away from each other. Remember how important it is to establish the stable shoulder and good connection to the core of the body. As you press down, you're going to push into your left foot, lift right leg up. And so again, these postures can seem pretty demanding, but when you've connected the whole body, you feel like you have something you can sustain. So let's take one more breath here and step that foot down. And one more switch to the other side. Press down into your right foot, lift your left foot up. Keep the chest over the hands. Yes, push into the toes. Keep lifting the pubic bone toward the breastbone. And let's take the foot down. Great. Let's bring the knees down once again. So we'll just challenge our position one more time. We've been here before. We're just laying a little more demand on these postures. Okay, so let's make sure the hands are balanced under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Let's keep the left knee down and reach the right foot back. And now at the same time, you can reach the right hand forward, left hand forward, yeah. So balance the body, and again, you're going to do this through these functional lines, cross body connections, draw the front body up toward the spine, and now keep connected, especially lifting through the belly as you transition to bringing the leg out to the side. So reach your leg out to the right side, arm out to the left side. Very nice, staying connected. One more deep breath here. And then we can bring the hand back to the mat and bring the leg back to center and bring it down. Great. All right. Building connections. Ready. Let's take the left leg back. Good. No rush. Make your connections. So connect your right knee to your left hand. Connect your right hand to your left leg. Lift the belly into the spine from pubic bone to breastbone. Beautiful. Take your right arm out to the front. And then when you feel like you're ready to make the transition, you're going to take the left leg out to the left, right arm and hand out to the right. Connecting across the body. One more deep breath here. And let's bring the hand back down, bring the leg back to center and knee down. Really nice. Very good. Okay, let's tuck our toes, press back downward facing dog. Just take a nice deep breath here. And then you can hop your feet through to seated. Stretch your legs out ahead of you. And as soon as you're ready to, you can roll back onto your backs. Bring your knees just above your hips. Yep, and let's see if we can have a 90-degree angle at our knees. Knees are just above the hips. So there will be a tendency for your body to try to move into a more mechanically advantageous position by pulling your knees over your belly. So try to keep your knees right over your hip joints, okay? And now plaster your shoulder blades into the mat. Really hug them in, okay? Great. And now feel the back of your pelvis. Maybe you can feel some glute tissue hugging down as well. And activate your deep front line. So feel the inseams of your legs to pelvic floor and lower belly. Pull the front wall of the belly in really strongly, okay? Pull it in really strongly. You may feel the small of your back touching the mat. Maintain that. That's a core brace that we're doing right now. So from pelvic floor, front body, hugging into the mat. Now, keeping your left knee just exactly where it is, can you, and do not change the angle of your right knee, lower your heel to the ground. So just gonna keep the pelvis steady, lower the heel to the ground. Yep, and then pick it up. So let's just touch down on the other side now again. Okay, so left side's gonna go down and touch. So this is just about maintaining that brace through the core. Touch down on the other side. And this, you have a fairly mechanically advantageous position because you've got one leg over the hip socket, and so that's helping balance the pelvis. If we were to do this with two legs, it would try to pull the pelvis out of position. This is where your functional lines really have to kick on. So let's try that. Let's try keeping the pelvis steady, even emphasizing like you're going to posteriorly tilt it, and then bring the heels down. Really, really slowly, keeping the 90-degree angle, and then you're going to lift it back up. So you want to see if you can keep drawing the pubic bone toward the breastbone, feeling the shoulder blades grounding, feeling that connection between your right shoulder and your left hip, left shoulder, right hip. Let's try one more time. If you're really feeling super frisky, you can do it with your legs straight. No one's feeling super frisky today though, no worries. Not blaming anybody. All right, let's bring the knees into the chest and just relax for a moment. Whew. Core bracing is very important in your body. Again, you don't need to core brace 24/7 or anything, but when you need to be able to. So this is really important to practice. If you never practice, then it's probably not going to be there for you when you need it. All right, let's just stretch the whole body out. So you can straighten your legs, point your toes, maybe even reach arms above your head, and just take a moment here. So actively point your toes, press your arms back, press the shoulder blades back, press your hips back, and draw your belly in at the same time. And just take a nice deep breath or two. Great. Now we'll bring the knees back into the chest. And I'm going to put your strap in your hands. I'll just hand it to you. All right, let's bring the strap around the feet, and then you can straighten your legs. So good. We're going to make, give ourselves something to pull against here. Yeah. So keep your legs super steady, feet and heels just above the hip joint. Push the feet into the strap actively, and then use the band to actually squeeze your shoulder blades back into the mat. So see if you can really get some contact with the mat here, activating your upper back, and maybe even feeling into the great toe mounds here and the arches of the feet. Get a little more deep front line activation. Good. One more deep breath here. And then you can ease off on your tension a little bit. You're going to let your left leg and foot slip out, put it down on the mat, and ground it down. Then you'll take your strap into your right hand. Yeah, I'm going to straighten that leg. Yeah. Press the heel down. Good. Let's get pretty close to the foot if possible. Get as close as you can with your hand. Good. And now maintaining your intention to have your shoulder blades pressing down, let's take the foot off to the side. So off to the right side. Great. Keep hugging down with your left hip here and pressing back into your left shoulder. And now as you take the foot off to the side, push your foot into the strap. Actively push the foot into the strap. Like you mean it. Keep the breath super steady. Again, we're just activating and fatiguing in a posture that might ordinarily be a passive pose. So we're just keeping it a little bit more active, or maybe a lot more active. Okay, gather through the belly. Let's come through center and put the strap in the other hand. Shoulder blades are actively pressing back. So again, you want to think about those functional lines and those cross-body connections. Let's take the leg across the body now. Just bring it over there. Once you arrive there, you're going to push the foot into the strap. That's actually going to help you ground down through your opposite shoulder. So just notice that. I'm going to suggest you come closer. And push. Yeah. Good. Let's keep it super active. Gather through the belly. Can you feel the connection of your foot to the belly? Now bring your leg back to center. Good. You can take your left leg up. Slip it under the strap. And your right leg can go down on the mat. Keeping the right leg grounded and your hand pretty close to the foot if possible. You're going to take the leg out to the side. So remember, shoulder blades gathered back into the mat. Most of these muscles are quite superficial, so of course you are working with a deep front line. You're also working with the spiral line. You're working with the other full body lines. But in order to really highlight these, we have to work a little bit harder so that they actually have a reason to turn on. So really pushing there and grounding down. Once they turn on, you can really utilize these lines for that extra strength and stability you're looking for here. Gather through the belly. Let's come across the body. Switching hands. And remember to keep pressing back. Take the leg to the side. As far as what's happening at the hip here, this is quite a safe way to work with the hip. Keeping the muscles that surround the hip very active makes it really safe. And that's just because it's hard to exploit your joint when your muscles are active. So keep pushing the foot into the strap. Let's just take one more full breath here. Almost there, almost there. And let's gather through the belly. Let's come back to center. You can just get rid of the strap now. Let's bring both knees into the body and rock the body from side to side. Let's give ourselves one more little experiment with the functional lines. Let's step the feet down. And feet are going to be pretty close together, okay? Pretty close together. Let's just ensure that we don't end up turning our feet out though, okay? So we still want to be able to organize and activate by pressing down and energizing like we're dialing the feet and knees away from each other. Tuck your shoulder blades under your body a little bit, and then let's press down into the feet and lift the hips up. If the space is under your body for it, you can lace your fingers underneath your body, but that's not absolutely necessary. Okay, so let's make sure that we do not have the heels too close to the seat as you were, yeah. So you want to have pretty much as a straight up and down line from the mat here, perpendicular to the mat. Okay, let's keep the feet pretty close together, gang. And energize like you're dialing the feet and knees away from each other. Press down more. Want to really wake up the glutes here. And now push down into your left foot and make your right knee straight. Yeah, you can make it straight out or straight up. So as you, whichever way you want to do it is fine with me, but pushing down. So again, you're making the cross-body connection both in front and back of the body. So feeling the back glutes of your left hip, connecting it to your right shoulder, feeling the activity here in this right leg, adductors active, hip flexors active, connected to your opposite shoulder. One more breath here. And let's take the foot down. Very nice. Press into both feet, lift your hips. Then press down into right foot, bring your left leg up. Breathe. Feel. Just working, tapping into the lines, making your connections. Cross-body connections in front, cross-body connection in back. One more breath here. And then we'll take the foot down. Really nice. And now you can move your arms. Come down as slowly as ever you can, one vertebra at a time. Eventually you can let the sacrum come down. Nice, and then knees come into chest, and you can rock your body from side to side. Very nice. All right, so now you can step down onto your feet. Let your right knee drop to the outside, and then slide your right foot to the right corner of your mat. Yeah, just slide it there to the corner of your mat. And then let your left knee fall out, and then slide the foot out till the knee straightens. Great. For Shavasana posture. And we're going to actually let them enjoy Shavasana and take Shavasana too if you like. But even in Shavasana, just as you're starting to relax, maybe even feeling the relationship of those cross-body connections, left shoulder, right hip, right shoulder, left hip, front and back. All right, that's our functional lines. And that's probably the most important thing to remember about them, is they're for strength and power and those cross-body connections. Helps you when you need it. I'll see you on the next sequence.